شورای لندن دور هم جمع شدیم تا صدای اعتراض مردم ایران را که نزدیک به نیم قرن تحت ستم این رژیم جنایتکار متحمل شرایط ضد بشری شده اند و قربانیان بیشماری داده اند به جهانیان برسانیم. زنده باد آزادی و برابری، زنده باد مبارزات حق طلبانه مردم ایران. زن، زندگی.
We gathered here today in
ضمن خوشامدگویی به تمام عزیزانی که امروز در این هوای سرد اینجا جمع شدن، از طرف کارزار علیه اعدام در ایران لندن بیانیه این کارزار رو براتون میخونم و بعد از رفقای عزیزی که میخوان سخنرانی کنن دعوت میکنیم که برای سخنرانیشون تشریف بیارن. بیانیه کارزار علیه اعدام در ایران لندن در حمایت از خیزش سراسری موجود در ایران علیه رژیم دیکتاتوری، ارتجاعی و توتالیتر اسلامی ایران. ما اعضای کارزار علیه اعدام در ایران لندن امروز شنبه 13 دی ماه 1404 برابر با 3 ژانویه 2026 در حمایت از خیزش مردم شریف ایران علیه رژیم ددمنش اسلامی گرد هم آمده ایم تا صدای اعتراض مردم ایران را که نزدیک به نیم قرن تحت ستم این رژیم جنایتکار متحمل شرایط ضد بشری شده اند و قربانی‌های بیشماری دادن را به گوش جهانیان برسانیم. امروز یک هفته از خیزش توده‌های مردم از اقشار مختلف علیه گرانی، تورم، شرایط نابسامان اقتصادی، اختناق، دستگیری، شکنجه، زندان و اعدام معترضین به وضع موجود می‌گذرد. در سال 2025 این رژیم صفاک بیش از 1800 نفر را به جوخه‌های اعدام سپرد. بر اساس آمار سازمان عفو بین الملل بالاترین درجه اعدام نسبت به جمعیت را در جهان به خود اختصاص داده. ما در کنار مردمی ایستاده‌ایم که با شجاعت و تحمل هزینه‌های سنگین برای آزادی، کرامت انسانی، عدالت اجتماعی و حق تعیین سرنوشت خود به خیابان آمدند. آزادی بیان، حق تجمع، اعتصاب و اعتراض حقوق جهان شمول هستند و هیچ حکومتی نمیتواند با زور و ارعاب این حقوق را از مردم سلب کند. ما همصدا با مردم ایران خواهان توقف سرکوب خیابانی، آزادی فوری و بی‌قید و شرط تمام زندانیان سیاسی و عقیدتی و لغو هر گونه حکم اعدامی هستیم و از کلیه انسان‌های آزادیخواه و برابری طلب و طرفدار حقوق بشر در جهان به ویژه انگلستان می‌خواهیم که در تحقق مطالبات مردم ایران با کارزار علیه اعدام در ایران لندن همراه شوند. همبستگی با معترضان ایران، همبستگی با زندگی و آینده‌ای انسانی است. زنده باد مبارزات حق طلبانه مردم ایران، جمهوری اسلامی، رژیم ارتجاعی سرنگون 3/1/2026. متشکرم.
Friends and comrades, today we are here to stand with the people of Iran, people who are paying for freedom and equality with their lives every single day. For more than 40 years, the Islamic Republic has survived through repression, through executions, prisons, torture, and the killing of protesters. From the very beginning, this regime has shown one clear truth. It does not rule with the consent of the people, but with the fear and bloodshed. On this violent path, the uprising of women life freedom marked a historic moment. It began with the state killing of Gina Mahsa Amini. People across Iran, especially women, stood up and said clearly, we will no longer accept a system built on death. The uprising was brutally crushed, but it was not defeated, because fear was broken and awareness spread. Today, a new wave of protests is rising across many cities in Iran. These protests come from deep poverty, unbearable living conditions, structural injustice, and years of repression and anger. Workers, laborers, shopkeepers, employees, students, young people, women, and men are once again in the streets. Despite arrest, violence, and constant threats, they refuse to stay silent. So far, at least 8 protesters have been killed by bullets and brutal force, and many more have been injured. These protests are not about single or temporary problems. They are the voice of people who have nothing left to lose but their chains. A people who know this system cannot be reformed. A people who know that life, freedom, and human dignity cannot exist alongside executions, bullets, and prisons. We, in the campaign against execution in Iran, London, say clearly, we stand with the brave people of Iran fighting poverty, injustice, and social destruction. We stand with workers and laborers whose lives have been held hostage, students and young people whose future are being destroyed, all oppressed communities across national, ethnic, and gender lines, and women who remain at the front of every struggle for life and freedom. The voice of Iranian people must be heard, and we are here to say, until the Islamic regime is overthrown, we stand beside those who fight for injustice. We will be the echo of your rightful demands. Down with the Islamic regime in Iran, live, equality and freedom. Thank you.
Thank you.
دوستان عزیز، اکنون دوستمون مهسا اطلاعیه شورای همکاری نیروهای چپ و کمونیست رو به زبان انگلیسی قرائت می‌کنه. بفرمایید.
In recent days, a wave of mass protests has erupted in a number of cities across Iran. These protests began on Sunday, 28th of December 2025, following an unprecedented rise in the value of the dollar and a sharp increase in prices, starting with a combination of protests by shopkeepers and ordinary people in Tehran's Grand Bazaar. Within the first hours, the protests spread to Republic Street and then to other parts of Tehran, and now to many towns and cities across the country. This new wave of protests rooted in the widespread public discontent of the masses, the people's livelihood hardships, and skyrocketing inflation and inadequate wages and salaries of workers and laborers. The rapid spread of popular protests from Tehran to other cities, accompanied by slogans against Khamenei and the Islamic Republic, and the swift support of students from Tehran universities and other universities across the country, reflects the suppressed anger and deep resentment of the working masses who are no longer willing to accept the crimes of the Islamic Republic. An authoritarian and reactionary ruling system that for many years has suppressed the people of Iran, imposed poverty and deprivation on them, and spent billions of dollars taken from the labor of workers and toilers on warmongering, the expansion of proxy forces and its nuclear facilities. A corrupt and oppressive regime that, despite the immense poverty and misery it has imposed on Iranian workers, has enforced extreme repression over society and has responded to every protest movement with arrests, imprisonment, executions and killings. As seen over just the past 2 days, it has used tear gas to disperse protesting masses surrounding universities, beaten demonstrators and in some cases even opened fire on them. The expanding protests of the Iranian masses over the past days clearly show that not only the state executions, imprisonment and years of repression failed to stop the oppressed people from struggling for liberation from the poverty, misery and discrimination imposed on them, but once again have driven them into the streets with slogans such as "Death to the dictator," "Death to the Islamic regime," and "Long live freedom," turning the streets into a battleground with the Islamic regime's murderous forces. These protests have benefited from active solidarity with Tehran's universities, who have now joined the protest by chanting slogans such as "Neither Pahlavi nor the Supreme Leader, democracy and equality," "Women, life, freedom," and "Students would die but they would not accept humiliation." The experience of the great and the revolutionary women life freedom movement and its ultimate way stands like a blazing torch before the current struggles of the oppressed people, especially the Iranian working class. Undoubtedly, if Iranian workers in these decisive days unify their scattered strikes in factories and service institutions, bring the wheels of production to a halt, and rise up united and organized to build nationwide strikes, then this time it will be the workers, women and the broad masses of the Iranian people who will celebrate the victory of the revolution on the ruins of the Islamic Republic. Down with the capitalist regime of Iran. Long live freedom, long live socialism.
Long live freedom, long live